In the realm of magic and mystery, the once human sorcerer Varvatos had ascended to unimaginable power, becoming known as the feared Great Demon Lord. His mere presence brought terror, and those who crossed his path vanished without a trace. As those around him vanish, he feels isolated and decides to reincarnate himself as an average boy named Ard Meteor, longing for a simple and ordinary life. As Ard reaches the tender age of 10, unfortunately despite Ard's efforts to live an ordinary life, he finds himself excelling in both magical power and combat skills due to the decline in magical education. In a world where his abilities would have been average in the past, Ard once again becomes the strongest warrior and sorcerer of his time. Despite Ard's sincere desire to make friends, his reputation as the terrifying Demon Lord makes it difficult for him to connect with others. His lack of social skills and the fear he instills in other children lead to them running away whenever he approaches, leaving Ard feeling isolated and lonely. Mayor Alhide, a friend of Ard's parents, arrives. Seeing Ard sad, he gives him a piece of advice on how to make friends. Despite his efforts, Ard's attempts to connect with others ended in failure, leaving him frustrated. Driven by his frustration, Ard channeled his emotions into battling monsters that roamed the land. Amidst the chaos, he hears a girl's voice. He discovers her using magic to fend off a wolf monster, and impressed by her skills, Ard approaches her with an offer to teach and a request to become friends. However, the girl, hesitant and possibly afraid, runs away from him. Meanwhile, Mayor Alhide fretted over his daughter, Irina, who had grown withdrawn after being bullied by her friends due to her elf heritage. In a twist of fate, the same girl Ard had encountered revealed herself to be Alhide's daughter. Realizing she is Alhide's daughter, Ard persists in trying to be friends with Irina. One day, goblins escape from a nearby dungeon and threaten the village. Alhide informs Ard and his father that Irina, who hasn't returned from the mountains yet, needs help. Without hesitation, Ard sets off to find her. Meanwhile, Irina finds herself alone in the mountains, surrounded by goblins. In a moment of desperation, she calls out for help, and to her relief, Ard appears just in time. With his strength and skill, Ard defeats the goblins and saves Irina from harm. Grateful for Ard's help, Irina decides to trust Ard, who is happy he finally made a friend. Several years later, as teenagers and best friends, Irina suggests they join the Academy of Magic. At the esteemed Magic Academy, Headmaster Gold swiftly admits Ard and Irina without the need for a practical test, recognizing their lineage as the offspring of the renowned heroes Alhide, Jack, and Carla. Despite Ard's desire to blend in and live an ordinary school life, the principal's announcement of their prestigious parentage draws attention from curious students eager to befriend them. Amidst the bustling atmosphere, Ard and Irina witnessed a distressing scene as a girl named Ginny, a succubus, falls victim to bullying at the hands of Araldo Spencer, son of a duke. In a display of courage, Irina steps forward to protect Ginny, sparking a dual challenge from Araldo directed at Ard. Under the guidance of their instructor, Lady Olivia, a former general from Ard's previous life, Ard conceals his identity as Varvatos, the Demon Lord, fearing her potential anger at his decision to reincarnate. As the duel unfolds, Ard discerns Araldo's deceitful tactics, realizing he's been masking his ordinary magical abilities with impressive spell names. In response, Ard unveils his true prowess, unleashing high-level magic that forces Araldo to concede defeat and apologize to Ginny for his bullying behavior. However, Olivia grows suspicious of Ard, recognizing the use of lost skills reminiscent of Demon Lord Varvatos. Assigned to hunt monsters in a dungeon, Ard, Irina, and Ginny form a team, with Ginny struggling with years of confidence issues due to Araldo's mistreatment. Ard takes it upon himself to mentor Ginny, teaching her script magic, a powerful lost skill that enhances spellcasting speed. Their journey takes a perilous turn when they encounter the dungeon's formidable boss, a Minotaur. Empowering Ginny to take the lead, Ard guides her in delivering the decisive blow with script magic, igniting a newfound sense of pride and confidence within her. Inspired by her triumph, Ginny bravely confronts Araldo and delivers a resounding slap, publicly humiliating him and asserting her newfound strength. Before Ard can slip away, Lady Olivia intervenes, beckoning him for a private conversation. Dragged before Headmaster Gold by Olivia, Ard is tasked with participating in the Academy Duel event to impress the Queen and secure additional funding for the institution. Meanwhile, Ginny boldly asks Ard on a date, prompting Irina to insist on joining them, albeit reluctantly accepted by Ginny, who harbors hopes of creating a harem for Ard, an idea vehemently opposed by Irina upon learning of it. During their outing, the trio attends a theatrical performance centered around Varvatos, Ard's past persona, which leaves him disheartened by its portrayal of Lydia, his former lover, as a gentle soul rather than the fierce warrior she truly was. As they make their way back, they accidentally overhear a sinister plot by a cultist group to kidnap the Queen during the upcoming duel event. Intrigued and alarmed, they clandestinely follow the cultists into the depths of the underground. Their covert investigation takes a dangerous turn when they are discovered and captured by the cultists, who reveal their intention to eliminate Ard. Despite their initial advantage, Ard swiftly overpowers the cultists, except for their leader, a demon in disguise, who manages to escape to the streets above. Determined to thwart their nefarious plans, Ard pursues the demon and emerges victorious, earning acclaim from the jubilant crowd. In recognition of his valor, Ard and his companions are summoned by Queen Rosie, a close friend of Irina's, who humorously jests about marrying Ard to irk Irina. However, she ultimately grants the Academy the funding it needs and promotes Ard, Irina, and Ginny to prestigious mage ranks. The surviving cultists confess that their failed plot was actually a ploy to gauge Ard's strength as part of their grand scheme to aid their master in conquering the world. As the duel event approaches, Lemming, a fellow student, confesses her love to Ard, though it's revealed to be a ploy to boost her reputation. Irina, consumed by jealousy, scares off Lemming before glaring at Ard and abruptly walking away. Despite having already secured the Academy's funding, Ard refuses to participate in the event, much to the disappointment of Headmaster Gold. Determined to change Ard's mind, Gold tasks Professor Jessica with convincing him. Alone in his room, Ard contemplates how to mend his relationship with Irina when Ginny unexpectedly arrives, attempting to seduce him as part of her plan to create a harem around him. Simultaneously, Irina, troubled by her earlier actions, arrives intending to apologize to Ard but becomes further agitated upon seeing Ginny with him. It's revealed that Irina had also planned to make a similar gesture to reconcile with Ard. Tensions escalate as they argue, eventually deciding to duel over Ard's affections. However, Ard intervenes, forbidding them from competing for his attention. Their dispute is interrupted by the sudden entrance of Professor Jessica, who had been eavesdropping on their conversation. She reveals Gold's plan to promote Ard to an instructor and proposes that they settle their differences by dueling publicly at the event in front of Queen Rosie. As the duel event unfolds, Ard feels despondent knowing that 3 of the judges are his parents and Irina's father, Alhide. Both Irina and Ginny emerge victorious in their respective matches, having learned lost skills from Ard. However, before their own duel begins, chaos erupts when demon cultists infiltrate the audience. Despite Alhide's efforts to protect Irina and Ginny from a golem, Jessica stabs Alhide in the back, revealing she is actually Elzard the Frenzied Dragon King, and their plan the whole time was to kidnap Irina. In the ensuing chaos, Ginny attempts to thwart Elzard but is gravely injured, leaving her helpless as Elzard kidnaps Irina before their eyes. With Alhide's injuries healed by Ard's magic, he grants Ard access to the royal armory to aid in rescuing Irina. Jack suggests revealing the truth about their backgrounds to Ard, understanding that Irina's withdrawal stemmed from these hidden truths. However, Alhide is reluctant to disclose the details due to the complicated circumstances surrounding their lineage. Meanwhile, Elzard prepares to sacrifice Irina to summon the Orphan of Chaos and bring about the destruction of the world. Despite the danger, Ard promises Ginny that he will save Irina. Arriving in the nick of time, Ard confronts Elzard and thwarts her plans, slaying the monster and defeating her followers. Back at the manor, Alhide talks with Jack about how his family are the true rulers of the country and how the ones instated are proxies. Elzard attempts to sow discord by revealing Irina's royal heritage as a descendant of the evil gods, hoping to turn Ard against her. Unmoved by the revelation, Ard remains resolute in protecting Irina. They battle and he impales Elzard, but she reverts to her true dragon form and attacks again. Ard summons an apparition of Lydia to fight by his side and reverts to his Varvatos form. He deduces that Elzard's true motivation is loneliness, but that is no excuse for threatening Irina, and he slays her. Lydia disappears, and Ard reverts to normal. As they walk home, Irina is frightened of him at first, but remembers that he accepted her even after learning her secret and vows to become strong enough to fight by his side. As a young girl named Sylphie emerges from her 3-year training in the dungeon, she is shocked to discover that 3,000 years have passed in the outside world. A masked man informs her of the changes and reveals the fate of Varvatos and her sister, Lydia, who are now deceased. However, Varvatos has reincarnated as Ard Meteor, a fact that Sylphie finds difficult to comprehend. As the Academy buzzes with anticipation for the upcoming festival, Gold enlists Ard's talents for a stage performance. He also reveals they have received a threat from someone named Lars Al Ghul. Meanwhile, Sylphie takes it upon herself to investigate Ard's reincarnation and the fate of her sister Lydia. Confronting Ard with her suspicions, she is met with feigned ignorance, prompting Olivia's keen interest in Sylphie's claims, given her own connection to events from millennia past. In the heat of the moment, Sylphie's frustration boils over as she challenges Ard to a duel. Despite her formidable skills, Ard emerges victorious, further fueling Sylphie's anger. With emotions running high, Sylphie unleashes her poison mana-infused sword, threatening chaos with each slash. Olivia intervenes swiftly, preventing further harm, while Irina also scolds her, making Sylphie cry as Irina reminds her of Lydia. As preparations for the Academy Festival proceed, Ard's class decides to depict Varvatos' life in a stage performance. Meanwhile, tensions escalate as Sylphie confronts the Nobel class students who mock them, asserting their determination to excel in the upcoming competition. Inspired by her resolve, Irina and the others vow to emerge victorious. By popular demand, Ard decides to play as Varvatos, Irina as Lydia, and Sylphie as the evil god. For their class project, they decide to host a maid cafe during the festival with the maids in very risque outfits designed by Ginny. Despite initial reluctance, the girls agree to wear the outfits upon learning they will have the opportunity to serve Ard. Throughout these events, the masked man observes with anticipation, eager to witness Sylphie's reaction when she learns the truth about their shared history from 300 years ago. At the festival, Sylphie's disruptive behavior lands her in the maid cafe as punishment. Meanwhile, Ard stumbles upon a tree rumored to contain an item sealed by the Great Sword King. Olivia drops a bombshell when she reveals Ard's unexpected participation in the Great Sword King tournament, much to his chagrin. The coveted prize, a replica of Vault Galgus, which originally was Lydia's. Despite Ard's reluctance, Olivia, Irina, Sylphie, and Ginny join him in the tournament. They win their tournament duels and become finalists. Ginny asks Ard to compete with her in a Miss and Mr. Beauty contest. During the event, Ard notices Iraldo's presence among the contestants. In a candid moment, Iraldo opens up to Ard, confessing a painful truth from their shared past. He reveals that as children, he and Ginny were friends, but the toxic teachings of his father led him to mistreat her, causing deep regret and remorse. Iraldo expresses a heartfelt desire for forgiveness and reconciliation, hoping for a chance to make amends for his past actions. Ard feels guilty he still has not told Sylphie the truth. Ard and Ginny win the contest, infuriating Irina who wants to compete. Ard finds himself embroiled in another duel, this time against Olivia, who tries to force him to reveal his true power. Despite Olivia's relentless pursuit to uncover his hidden abilities, Ard remains steadfast in his refusal to succumb to her demands. He accidentally blasts Olivia far away. They are both disqualified, Ard for cheating and Olivia for not making it back in time. Irina confronts Ginny in their duel, their clash reflecting deeper conflicts over Ginny's controversial harem plan, until Irina is victorious. As the festival unfolds, the masked man observes with disappointment, deciding to intervene to manipulate events to his liking. Ard realizes the stage performance mirrors the Battle of Avia Decivirs, which he won thanks to Sylphie laying magical traps on the battlefield and claiming the enemy commander's sword, Demise Argus, for herself. The masked man seizes the opportunity to approach Sylphie, setting a sinister plan into motion. In the tournament's final showdown, Sylphie emerges victorious against Irina, claiming the Vault Galgus replica as her prize. However, Ard's encounter with her at the mysterious tree unveils a shocking truth. The replica is the authentic Vault Galgus, and its power source lies within the tree itself. Sylphie combines the two swords, summoning the complete Vault Galgus and its counterpart, Demise Argus, before launching a deadly attack on Ard. The masked man revels in his manipulation, revealing Sylphie's manipulated memories of Ard's alleged betrayal of Lydia. As Ard confronts Sylphie in his Varvatos form, the apparition of Lydia intervenes, shattering the mind control when Sylphie hears Lydia's voice. Disappointed, the masked man retrieves the two swords to kill Ard himself, revealing he needs to sacrifice Irina to resurrect his true master. The two swords reject him as he is not powerful enough to wield them, so Ard destroys him. The Lydia apparition appears and tells Sylphie her death was not Ard's fault and to focus on living a full life. Ard is not surprised Lydia calls him a dumbass before disappearing. The class is on a field trip when time suddenly freezes except for Ard, Irina, and Ginny find themselves transported to a strange white void, where they encounter a boy claiming to be a god. The boy imparts a grave message, revealing a looming threat to the world that only they can confront. Suddenly, they awaken in an unfamiliar wilderness, greeted by the sight of two moons in the sky, a sign they have been thrust into the distant past of Varvatos' era. Ard deduces that one of the moons has been destroyed, marking a significant shift in the timeline. Their journey takes a perilous turn when they encounter a girl beset by a monstrous scorpion. With courage and determination, they manage to rescue her. Olivia arrives and expresses her gratitude for their assistance and extends an invitation to join Varvatos' army in their battle against otherworldly foes. Accepting the offer, they receive attire suitable for the region from Olivia. Ard takes the initiative to ensure the safety of the girls by requesting they serve under the scholar Verda, who typically remains away from the front lines. Irina and Ginny's unintentional insult to Verda when they don't recognize her since she doesn't resemble her image in historical records, and is smoothed over when they clarify their situation, revealing they are from the future. Verda assures them of her assistance. Meanwhile, Sylphie and Lydia arrive seeking reinforcements, but Lydia's inappropriate behavior towards Ginny causes tension. Ard intervenes, leading to a confrontation between him and Lydia that concludes without a clear victor. Ard expresses his desire for an audience with Varvatos, but Lydia insists that they must first prove themselves in battle before such a meeting can be arranged. The group takes refuge in Latimer's house, and Lydia sexually harasses Ginny in the bath. However, their focus quickly shifts to the impending battle ahead. When they engage in combat, Ard's remarkable skills shine as he effortlessly subdues the enemy general, earning Lydia's admiration and securing them an audience with Varvatos. Sylphie's envy simmers beneath the surface as she witnesses Ard's success, adding another layer of complexity to their dynamic. Amidst the journey, Alvardo instigates a confrontation with Ard, only to be reprimanded by Varvatos and Lydia. Meanwhile, Ard grapples with feelings of jealousy as Irina and Ginny display growing admiration for his past self. To the trio's confusion, Varvatos does not refer to himself as the Demon Lord, instead mentioning that the title belongs to the leader of their enemies. After their audience with Varvatos, the group confides with Verda, seeking answers to the inconsistencies in history. Verda speculates that the Demon Lord, whom Varvatos fought to a draw in the past, is the being the gods wanted them to stop and is altering history. Ginny suggests telling Varvatos the truth, but they will need to do something impressive to meet him again. RD decides to part ways with Irina and Ginny temporarily, joining Lydia and Sylphie on a raid targeting Mevelas, the Curse King. However, upon reaching Mevela's stronghold, they encounter a grim sight. The Curse King lies slain by a dark, enigmatic figure clad in armor, the Demon Lord himself, who ominously proclaims his intent to vanquish Varvatos and seize control of the world before disappearing. Ard grapples with the weight of the gods' directive to alter history, torn between the prospect of saving countless lives and the knowledge that doing so would mean sacrificing those he cares about, including Lydia. His internal turmoil intensifies when confronted by the Demon Lord, a future version of himself known as Disaster Rogue. Disaster Rogue shares his own harrowing journey that he too has been sent back in time by God, but with the mission of destroying the world and battling Varvatos. But the guilt over his mistakes is too much, so he intends to save Lydia and then die in battle against her. Despite the temptation to join Disaster Rogue's cause, Ard remains steadfast in his resolve to honor Lydia's wishes and allow her to find redemption on her own terms. Later, Lydia asks what is troubling him, and Ard cryptically asks what she would do if she had to die to fix a mistake. She takes him to a town she had to destroy during the war, massacring even the children, and explains due to guilt she has already decided she will one day die in complete obscurity once the world is finally at peace. During the battle, Ard seizes an opportunity to confront Disaster Rogue and explains he will not deny Lydia her own repentance and will allow her to die. Their clash reveals the extent of their shared abilities, rendering them evenly matched in combat. However, Disaster Rogue reveals he arranged for the battle to occur at the same time as their duel to distract him. Irina expresses her frustration at Ard's departure, feeling abandoned along with Ginny. Latima steps in, taking them on a mission to dismantle a crystal responsible for Disaster Rogue's immortality. However, when they reach it, Latima betrays them and binds them to magic nullifying crosses, revealing she is working for Disaster Rogue. Disaster Rogue confronts Ard, presenting the captive girls as leverage, and demands that Ard join him or else the girls will meet their demise. He emphasizes his willingness to sacrifice anyone to protect Lydia. In a moment of desperation, Irina and Ginny tap into unconventional magic techniques taught by Ard, breaking free from their magical restraints and refusing to succumb to despair. But their trials are far from over as Latima summons a horde of monsters, driven by her misguided loyalty to Disaster Rogue's cause. Lydia arrives in the nick of time, swiftly dispatching their assailants and shattering the crystal that sustains Disaster Rogue's immortality. With the crystal destroyed, Disaster Rogue's vulnerability is laid bare. Ard is plunged into a final showdown against his own future self. They both remember a time they had a fight with Lydia that they regret. As the battle reaches its climax, an ethereal manifestation of Lydia emerges, restraining Disaster Rogue and granting Ard the opportunity to deliver the decisive blow, ending the threat once and for all. In the aftermath of their victory, Ard, Irina, and Ginny find themselves fading from existence, their mission in the past fulfilled. However, Lydia, who knew they were from the future, asks the two girls if the people are happy in the future. When they confirm it, she asks them to pass a message to Ard. In the White Void, the deity expresses gratitude to Ard for his success. Although refusing to reveal his identity, he assures Ard of his alliance and support. In the end, the trio awakens in the present, shortly after their departure, while Olivia and Sylphie scold them for falling asleep. Irina relays Lydia's message. Regardless of circumstances, their friendship remains steadfast. Ard finds solace in the sight of Lydia's apparition, watching over him.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. If you have any suggestions or questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Until next time, take care.